Hello everyone, welcome back to You Got Nerfed, and this is a video review of the X-Shot Max Havoc, a spring-powered turret-fed blaster in the X-Shot Excel line with, it has Slamfire, so a 20-round turret with Slamfire seems pretty awesome. Let's get into the review. Starting out with the blaster overview, starting up front, there's no in-strike barrel lug. This is not a Nerf brand blaster. Getting up front, there is a sight up here that'll correspond with the fake sight all the way back here at the grip. Getting up front, this is an X-Shot rail up here. I don't know of any attachments that work on there. Certainly not any Nerf attachments. It doesn't have the tooth on there. It won't seat on there. Don't put your Nerf stuff on that rail. I'm unfamiliar with X-Shot optics that they will fit on there. Maybe something from the long shot might fit in there. I personally haven't tested that, but yeah, there's that rail on there. So tactics anyway. Yeah, up front, this is not a functional part of the blaster, but getting all the way back to here is the priming handle. This blaster is spring powered. To prime back, you do that and you're ready to fire the blaster once. This blaster does have Slamfire, which is really cool. Getting down to the back is the stock. This stock is non-adjustable, but the stock is actually pretty comfortable for somebody of my size. I'm a small dude, and this works out pretty well. But it is a shorter stock, so if you're a bigger dude, this may or may not work for you. I would probably say this might not work for you. Some of you bigger dudes might want a longer stock than this, but personally for me, it works just fine. Getting all the way down to the bottom here is a sling mount or lanyard mount. The stock is pretty good. I know that this is a thumbhole stock. I don't really care about thumbhole stocks. I'm not objectively for or against them. They're just another thing in the design. Unless if they mess with the ergonomics way too bad, or just are unnecessary, I usually won't mention them, really. So that goes well. The grip is actually pretty comfortable and ergonomically sound for this blaster. I like this. It's more of a slanted grip than a vertical pistol grip, but this works out very, very well. So X-Shot compliments to your grip design. Again, getting down to the trigger pull is very smooth. With it, again, this blaster does have Slamfire. Trigger pull is very smooth, in line with other X-Shot blasters. Getting up front to the main turret, I know I kind of skipped over this, but this turret is how you will load the blaster. You will simply front load the blaster, and you can rotate the turret to fit in darts. The capacity of this one is 20 darts plus about 26 darts, because if you see, there's little secondary holes here behind the main holes. I will let you know that those secondary holes do nothing but just store in 6 extra darts in there. It does not fire those 6 darts. And when I got this blaster, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's going to shoot those ones as well. And then there's literally no way to shoot those. So a waste of space, really. Even for 6 darts, it doesn't even hold a full reload of the blaster. I don't get why those are there, besides to look intimidating. But yeah, I will also note that the loading of these blaster is very finicky. You have to put in the darts and then push them all the way. The included X-Shot Insanity Wafflehead style darts, you must push in the darts. You're going to feel like that you're going to bend the darts to heck, but sometimes they tend to stick out of the barrel a lot. So I don't think that the spacing is really the best, nor is it really refined for those type of darts. Some of the other darts fit in well, like Nerf Elite darts and the old X-Shot darts, if you know what I'm talking about, like the 3/4 length darts. Those ones kind of fit in pretty well. Some of those you still might have to mash in a little bit. I'm not a fan of that, so it's not a smooth fit into the turret. I will let you guys know that, but it does go in there. Once you put them in there, they'll fire fine. Getting up front, it's a place to hold your hand here. This is probably a little too forward to hold your hand. My hand naturally wants to hold like right here on the blaster, but whatevs at this point. You got to have somewhere to hold the grip, and really, since the turret system and then up here, X-Shot kind of dropped the ball on this one, so I prefer this to be scooted back a little bit, but that's just me. But it works fine, I guess. That's everything to go over with the X-Shot Havoc. Let's see it out on the range. Starting out with the included X-Shot Insanity style darts. Slamfire. So now firing some X-Shot 3/4 length darts. These are the old X-Shot darts. I only have 19 of these, so I won't be firing off a whole turret, but I'll fire as many as I can. Slamfire. Firing analysis and conclusion of the X-Shot Max Havoc. The blaster fired all right with it. I didn't have any jams or malfunctions with the blaster. However, the chrono readings on this blaster aren't the greatest. And I will let you know that the chrono average for most units should be about 82 feet per second, if not a little bit greater. I don't know what's with my units of blasters these days, firing way less than what should be on the market, but my blaster with the chrono test, after doing the chrono test twice over a span of 6 darts, at least twice, I got an average of about 74 feet per second, which for X-Shot, the standard is about 80 feet per second for X-Shot, and that is generally a little bit lower, so 72 is low for the X-Shot line. I did get some shots that shot up above 80 FPS, but I got a lot of shots that were hitting like 68, maybe if it's 78, I think was the top range on average was that, but I did get a couple shots on the second test that hit about 80, 81 feet per second, but that I think that was like 1 out of 6 of the darts that hit it. But it wasn't enough to bring up the average enough. So comparing that to the normal elite par on the market, this thing is shooting a little bit hotter than most Nerf blasters on the market, but this is not a Nerf brand blaster. This is X-Shot. I generally have expected, and so far from all of my testing, X-Shot blasters shoot a little bit harder than Nerf blasters at generally 80 feet per second. That's also what they generally advertise as to what this is. My unit shot less than that, and I don't know if it's the dart. I don't think my darts are that crummy with it. I tried in the new darts and still also got that one, so I don't know if it's the darts or if it's the mixture of new and old darts, or if it's just the blaster itself, which I'm thinking that it's the blaster itself that I bought this one, but it shot lower with that. And the only reason why I complain is because I've had this issue so many times. My jolt shoots at a lower velocity than expected. My chrono shot, well, that one was thrifted, so I can give it a pass kind of, but that one also shot below what is expected on the market for that blaster to shoot. And then this thing also shot less than what is expected on the market. I watched at least 2 other review videos and also tried looking up as best as I could to the FPS for this, and according to my research, the average should be about 80, if not a little bit hotter than 80 FPS, and this thing is just not shooting it. It is pretty consistent, I will note that, so that still has something going for it. The Slamfire, it seems a little bit finicky. It seemed consistent at first, but I could feel the weight of the darts after a few shots, which that sounds weird, but I get legitimately, it sounded like that I'm forcefully shooting a projectile with that. With the Nerf blaster, even a Springer, I shouldn't feel that kind of weight a whole lot, at least not significantly. And I know these darts don't weigh really anything at all, but the fact that I could feel the dart in the thing and feel the blaster pushing it out when it's not that high powered of a blaster doesn't feel right, and it just makes me not trust this blaster with it. I don't know if I'm going to take a step back and look at X-Shot again in the same way again, I don't know if I need to do that, but just something felt off with it. So the user experience for me was actually kind of negative, from the performance to just how it fired. It seemed consistent, but especially when it got to Slamfire, it was a little bit more inconsistent. It shot them consistently. There was no skipping issues, but it just felt like that it was gritty after a little bit. I've heard that, and you could see that physically in the firing demo, where it just felt like that I was running it that one. Maybe it's because I was running it too hard, but in my testing procedure, I ran it the same speed each time, whether I slowed down or made it faster. So if you do a slower Slamfire, maybe it could alleviate that issue. But if you're going to do Slamfire, you're going to run it hard with it, and I don't know if this blaster can handle that. So overall, on the blaster, my opinion on this blaster is a bit mixed. I would say more towards the negative side. I really kind of don't like this blaster. It works well, actually, but it just doesn't feel right. It has the nice ergonomics to it, like a big old, like almost shotgun style blaster that you can go in and then just clear out a room very fast. I like the 20 round capacity for this. Not having a removable drum is lay bummer, but I could totally understand that. But still, these wasted spaces in the turret as well to the inconsistent firing, I don't really like this. Would I suggest this blaster over? No, I'd say go get something like a Dart Zone Villainator or something like that. I can't really even take any sort of Nerf product that I can think of that is similar to this, that offers the same type of thing. You're really going to get this type of package out of like Busby or something. But my recommendations is check out what else is out there on the market, because I really wouldn't recommend this blaster to somebody. This is a lot better than some of the X shot blasters out there, like the Hawkeye and a lot of those single shot blasters. They work fairly well, but quite honestly, for this, plus it's time consuming to load this thing without movable, I'd rather use a single shot X shot blaster if I'm going to go X shot than use this blaster. And yes, I said that I would put myself at that much more of an ammo disadvantage than just have something that doesn't feel good to me. And that is my opinion. Objectively, this blaster is actually pretty darn good. I don't know what's up with the weird performance thing, but it's definitely not terrible. It's not like it's shooting like 50, 60 FPS, well, 68 FPS, but it's not shooting in like end strike territory. It's shooting in like elite territory, pretty much. But yeah, I can't really recommend this to anybody. That's my personal opinion, but maybe this blaster might work for you if you're that type of guy that likes a lot of Slamfire. That's probably what I would recommend this for. Having a 20 dart Springer here is not really practical unless you have magazines or something, but the addition of Slamfire really helps make this more of a complete package, and I can understand that role maybe in Nerf a little bit. So maybe for that reason you might purchase it. So hopefully with that information I've given you some information as to enough to have you guys make an educated purchase decision whether you want this blaster or not. Let me know what you guys think of the Max Havoc in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.